Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. With government borrowing costs now at a near 30-year high, everything is going to get a lot more expensive. And unfortunately, that's going to mean things like borrowing for normal people and also for mortgage holders in particular. If you want to go out and buy a house now, it's going to cost you a lot more. Growth is shrinking. Britain is expected to go into recession within the next month or so. And that will, of course, be the trend going forward for quite some time. It's only going to get worse because as the economy shrinks, more people lose their jobs, more borrowing is required, more taxation is required, more people will leave, taking their money with them, etc., etc., and the whole thing will spiral down the toilet. Higher yields on government gilts and bonds are another headwind, as they're calling it, to growth. The Bank of England has warned Rachel Reeves that she has to do something to change direction. Unfortunately, Rachel has decided to go to China. Now, the rumour is she's actually going to China to borrow vast amounts of money, and she wants it at a very low rate. China's desperate to offload and invest and get any kind of return. China's in deep trouble as well. But, do we want Chinese money? Do we want money made from slave labour? Do we want money from people who have concentration camps? Do we want money from people who mean to take us over and destroy us? It seems a very odd way of doing it. Already, for example, with Miliband pledging to spend hundreds of billions of pounds on Chinese solar cells, for example. Why aren't we making them in this country? Surely that would be the better idea. But no, don't want to make anything. Oh no, if you make something, people might earn money and be happy and not vote Labour. That seems to be the thinking behind it. So these long-term yields, it's going to harm every aspect of business and life. They're already looking at maybe, and this is only a rumour at the moment, it's undoubtedly going to be a rise, but maybe a 15 to 20% rise in the cost of food. And the reason is it's getting so expensive now for farmers to not just grow the thing, but also the cost of all the things they need to put on the fields, the cost of the fuel, the cost of labour, everything. This has all got to be factored in. And so food prices are going to rise by about 15 to 20%. So you think it's bad when you go to Sainsbury's now. Imagine if your food bill is going up by 20%. Some people are going to go hungry. Some people are going to get malnourished. That, of course, is the true legacy of Labour. Every time, poverty, hunger, starvation, death, misery, a failed society, a failed economy. Labour have never left office with Britain better. And they're not going to this time. Internationally, the different countries are saying that Britain's in trouble. The G7, we've got the biggest national debt in the G7 per capita. We've got the second biggest in total. Only America's got a bigger one than us. But they've got 350 million people. They find it easier to dig their way out and huge resources. And now with Trump coming in, they're not being stupid enough to worry about global warming and putting everything into the wind farm and solar cell basket. They are drilling and digging and burning coal. They do not care. They're not going to destroy their economy for some idea that is actually impossible. Net zero, physically impossible. Deutsche Bank are saying that Britain is going to face a tough time. They're saying there's going to be sluggish growth, which is coded for a depression. And it's not likely to improve until there is a change of government. An official quote from Deutsche Bank. They foresee misery here too. And so what are the rich doing? Well, they're leaving, and then most of them will be gone. Quite a few have gone already, but the rest of them will be gone by April the 5th, the last day of the tax year. And they'll take their money under the old regime and only pay their 10% exit fee rather than the 28% or whatever it could be the following day. So, hey, who can blame them? Would you? Of course you would. Why would you hand your money over to a government that wants to use it to bring illegal immigrants here and hand them housing that you're paying for to be built? Marvellous, isn't it? And what is the government going to do when finally Britain does collapse and there is nothing and nobody's working and there is no tax and still the immigrants come and demand houses? Will they turf you out of yours and put the immigrants in? Because I wouldn't put it past them. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much. As ever, don't be afraid. We can get them out. We just have to do it one way or another. Thanks a lot. Bye.